Welcome back to this special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen as we get insights into the cattle markets from a great panel of experts. You know, just a couple of years ago, Kevin, we sat on a program like this talking about a 29 million cow herd, record low cow numbers. Did we expand too fast, and more importantly, where are we headed?
Yeah, it's a good question. And the expansion in the last 2 years in particular, we're now in the third year of expansion. But the last 2 years have averaged close to 1 million head of beef cows a year. So from a historical perspective, that's pretty rapid. And because of that, as we talked earlier, we have paid the price from a price standpoint. Nonetheless, as we look at industry profitability, we still have a calf market that this year we think is going to average somewhere around $1.50, and for the average producer, that's a break even to making some money. So where we're at today, you think about it, yeah, it was rapid, but it's driven by profitability. And as we go forward in here, you still have good, favorable weather patterns, low input costs from a feed standpoint. You look at the data points, cow slaughter, even though it's going to increase in 17, we don't forecast that it'll be big enough to liquidate. Heifers on feed, 2% bigger than a year ago, but still very low from a historical perspective. So all the indications are that we'll continue to expand here in 2017 at a slower pace than the last 2 years, but still continue to expand.
I just wanted to add to that what Kevin talked about. As an analyst, one of the things that I had to learn a long time ago is when we're looking at all the numbers, we've got to not take the human element out of the decision making, because if there's an incentive, he will expand. And so we can't just look at the numbers by themselves. We've got to look what's going on in the response by human nature. When we're making money, we're going to expand. When we start to lose money, we contract. So human nature's and their behavior is really important in outlining this expansion and contraction.
Great point. And you know, one real interest that I have is the younger producers. We've seen a lot more young producers kind of get involved over the last couple of years and get excited about the cow business. Clint, what guidance do you give the younger producers that may have expanded the last couple of years and are trying to figure out where to from here?
Well, I think the biggest challenge facing agriculture, and it doesn't matter what segment you're in, is the age of the average American farmer and rancher. We all know that's the 800-pound gorilla in the room that we're all going to have to face. But I think now more than ever there is great opportunity in this business. That doesn't mean that this year's not more challenging than others, but they've got to stay engaged. Hopefully find some mentors that can help bring them along, stay engaged in their local and national cattlemen associations like NCBA, because the things that they need that are going to drive their biggest amount of success is beyond the grasp of within their fences. But they've got to control their input cost and invest in what's really going to make a return and start out slow. Got to have a great relationship with your lender. You know, that was one of the hardest things that I had to learn was to being able to sit at a table and look across and explain where you're going and what you're doing and have the lender have your back.
Is that right, Don?
Communication is the key.
Fantastic. A good baker.
What I was going to add is cattleaging.com is going to roll out a learning center this year to take that younger cow-calf, rancher, feedlot, who's going to take over this next generation of agribusiness. So we're going to take the information we've learned over these years, we're going to build a learning center. There'll be videos that you can go and learn how to manage risk and teach this new young generation about agribusiness.
Young and old, we all have lots to learn. Thank you, guys. Now, don't forget, if you want to keep up on all the latest news in the cattle industry, just visit NCBA's website at beefusa.org. And for more expert analysis on the cattle markets, be sure to visit cattlefacts.com.